it's a pleasure to be here today. I would like to share with you a little bit more about what MEX-PD is doing to understand clinical, epidemiological, and cognitively the population of Parkinson's in Mexico. So to start, I would like to highlight why it's important to study Parkinson's in Mexicans. So we are one of the 10th most populated countries in the world. About 2% of the world's population lives in Mexico. And interestingly, about 61% of Latinos in the US are considered as Mexican American. So their relevant aspect is that most of our population is genetically admixed, mainly what we call mestizo, and that means that we have an admixed ancestry from Native American and Spanish. And obviously, there are unique environmental factors to our population. But truly, the reason why we want to study Parkinson's in Mexico is to reduce health disparities and to improve healthcare outcomes. So, how we are doing this? Well, I would like to talk to you about the Red Mexicana Investigación en Parkinson. In English, is the Mexican Parkinson's Research Network, MEX-PD for short. So basically, our goal is to establish a national, deeply phenotyped patient registry and also to retrieve genomic resources from Mexican individuals living with PD. So we started working back in 2021. We are both recruiting people with Parkinson's through neurologists and also control participants, also through clinicians, but also through research assistants. And the instruments or questionnaires we have selected will allow us to do cross-data analysis with other relevant cohorts, such as the Australian Parkinson Genetics Study and the Latin American Research Consortium on the genetics of Parkinson disease, large PD for short. So next, I would like to highlight some key facts about our study. So as you see, we have a case control perspective study design. So we recruit both people with and without PD. We have the possibility of recontacting participants for further stages thanks to our ethical protocol and our informed consent. And we are also retrieving information about cognition, mental health, and lifestyle. We are a multi-center study and we take very seriously public engagement and community building. So talking about our community, for us is very important the work of the team. So there's three main teams that work together. We have the researchers who are experts in neuroimaging, genomics, epidemiology, and cognition. Obviously, very importantly, we have our clinician team formed by neurologists and movement disorder specialists from both private and public institutions. And we also have research assistants who are undergraduate and graduate students from different fields. Moving on, I would like to share with you how we are recruiting and assessing our participants. So obviously we start with an interview where we explain everything about the project, following by informed consent, clinical assessment, filling out those questionnaires I talked to you a little bit earlier. We collect a sample to take DNA. We do a vocal swab, and we invite participants to participate in further stages of the study. Moving along, as I told you, community building is very important for us. So we are very worried to have presence in social media. On Facebook, we publish infographics, share articles, webinars, and we have also participated in-person talks in cultural centers, radio and TV interviews, and we are very happy to have a close interaction with people with Parkinson organizations and support groups along our country. But also today, I would like to share with you a little bit about our progress so far. So here I summarize some of our key progress as June 2023. And as you can see, so far we have a good coverage of our very big country. At least 60% of the national territory has at least one registry. And in the lower panel on the right, you can see the distribution between females and males and the ages of the participants, both with and without PD. And also, I would like to highlight that so far we have collected over 400 genetic samples. And we're planning to start with magnetic resonance imaging in this winter. And we have also obtained over 300 cognitive function evaluations. So, in this particular day, I would like to share with you the aim of the specific study that was through the help of APDA. So, we wanted to know more about PD and more than just motor symptoms. So, in this case, we emphasize in non motor symptoms and in cognitive function. And the way we did that is by employing specific instruments. So first, I'm going to start with the instruments we are employing for mental health. So specifically, we selected these two surveys to assess trait anxiety and trait depression. And I will summarize some key findings with the questions we were making ourselves. So first, we wanted to know if anxiety and depression symptoms between people with Parkinson's and control groups were different. And short answer is yes. So about 26% of people with Parkinson have clinically relevant anxiety symptoms, and 25% of people with Parkinson have clinically relevant depression symptoms. And in both cases, patients tend to have more severe symptoms as well. So another couple questions we were making ourselves is what are anxiety and depression correlated with in people with Parkinson? And answer is sex, mild cognitive impairment, and with each other. So basically, lower anxiety and lower depression was correlated with a better cognitive performance, and higher anxiety and higher depression tend to appear together, as previously seen as well, and women tend to have a higher anxiety and depression. And finally, we also were wondering what are anxiety and depression not correlated with in people with Parkinson. And interestingly, for us, it was 8 years with PD and disease stage. So it really didn't matter if you were younger or older or have been recently diagnosed or have had PD for long. It really didn't affect anxiety and depression scores. So, moving along, with cognitive function, we employed 3 batteries to assess different cognitive domains, and we employ different tasks that you can see on your screens. And I would like to share with you some of our key results. So we wanted to know how many people with Parkinson had mild cognitive impairment, and it was a very high percentage of 68%, contrasting to 34% of control participants. And we also wanted to know which cognitive domains were mainly affected in people with Parkinson's. And in our case, it was verbal ability, reasoning, and memory, both episodic and working memory. So, just to summarize a little bit, I would like to address some of the challenges and opportunities in our study. So, what we're doing well is that we're doing decentralization. Historically, most of Parkinson's research in Mexico has been done in the center of the country. So, we are doing that well. We have a transdisciplinary team and we are doing well in capacity building. And as I told you, we take very seriously social approach and community building. What we need to do better, obviously, you see in this map that there's still empty spots. So there's still representation missing in our country. And one of the challenges in this is that in our country, there is lack of enough movement disorder specialists. So a lot of patients don't get access, and thus it's hard for us to also recruit them. And also to finalize, I would like to tell that please keep an eye on us. There's more research to come. So we are we're going to start a phase of magnetic resonance imaging. We're going to perform structural, diffusion, functional, and neuromelanin studies. So I hope we can share some results about that soon as well. And finally, I would like to thank our very big team and APDA for making this research possible.